In this video, we're going to show you how to install the passenger side headlamp on your Ford 500, located right on the front of your vehicle. The process for the passenger side is the same as the driver's side. Now on the bottom side of your fog light here, just follow it right down underneath the lip of the bumper. Then you're going to find an 8mm bolt right here. Go ahead and loosen and remove this. This bolt goes through the bottom side mount of the fog light. Spin that out and set it aside. Behind the fog light on the left side, there's going to be a 10mm nut. I want to go ahead, loosen and remove that. Now on the far right side, we're going to use our 10mm socket, swivel and extensions, and loosen the nut from this side here. You reach up there and spin it off the rest of the way. On the back of the fog light, you have your harness here going to the connector to your bulb. I'm going to use a pair of pliers and just gently pinch right here and wiggle this connector off. Normally you can just press in with your finger and pull it, but ours was kind of stuck on there. And disconnect that using your trim tool. One over here, and we're just going to release this little plastic push pin. Just work that gently back and forth so we can reuse that later. Go ahead and remove the light. Now that we have the driver's side out, let's go ahead and repeat for the passenger side. Now underneath the front here, we have a plastic locking tab right here that normally would be two more, but ours is missing two. So let's go ahead and remove the one remaining one here. Using our Phillips head screwdriver. Unscrew the core. Use your trim tool and pop out the base. Go ahead and set that aside. And on the inside of the driver's side wheel well, you're going to find 3 Phillips head screws. We're going to go ahead and loosen and remove those. Once we get these 3 out, we're going to repeat the process for the passenger side. Now with your hood open, you're going to locate this upper cover or fill panel, and there's going to be these plastic locking tabs here. There's one here, there's one right here, and there's 2 more on the driver's side over here and up here. Let's go ahead and use our Phillips head screwdriver and trim tool remover to go ahead and pull these out. Just pop those out and repeat that process for the other 3. Go ahead and set those 4 aside. Loosen and remove our 2 8mm bolts. And grab the edge of your bumper cover. Gently pull out. And what we're doing here is we're separating and dislodging the bumper slots here from the clips on the side. And you want to separate that out. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process for the driver's side. Go ahead and separate that whole bumper and grille assembly and slide that off. Using an 8mm socket, going to loosen and remove this bolt right here. Now just inboard of the light, you're going to find this flap right here. You're going to pull that back and locate the 10mm bolt just underneath the headlamp bracket. Loosen that and remove that. Along the top of your headlamp assembly is going to be two 10mm bolts on these tabs. Loosen and remove those. Set those aside. And grab that lamp and gently work this out. Now we'll pull this out. I want to go ahead and disconnect the lamp or bulb connections on the back side. Disconnecting the lights, we'll start by twisting the lights counterclockwise and twist these out. That'll give us a little more leeway to twist this lamp assembly. Go ahead and remove the lamp assembly, set that aside. Now on this marker light right here, I'm going to use a pocket screwdriver. I'm going to press that in. It's going to allow us to go ahead and pull out that connector and bulb assembly. This one here, I'm going to press down on that tab and wiggle the bulb and the socket out. This assembly here, there's a little clip on the back side. You're going to press on that, pop the bulb. This unit here, this would normally have the same style connector as this. This one here has been modified. I'm going to pop that out like so. Before installing your light, grab the protective film, and I like to just pull this away from the edges. That way there, it doesn't get caught underneath the trim, making it harder to remove later on. But I like to keep it on for a majority of the time while installing, that way there it keeps it protected. With the edges peeled back, let's go ahead and install all of our light connections here. With all of our light connections installed, we can now line up the headlamp assembly and fit this into position. Now I'll line up our upper tabs. And our goal here is to simply get the bolts started, but not to tighten them down. Install your lower inboard bolt here, or screw. I'm going to get that started by hand. I'm not going to snug it down yet. We just want to get that started a few threads. Now this bottom side right here should have a retainer clip like this. If you don't have one, just pull it off of the original headlamp. Get that in a position. Bolt should be going through and hooking onto that clip. Once you have that in, we'll go ahead and snug that down. This will be the first bolt of the 4 that we tighten down. Now once you feel that bottom out, give it about another quarter turn, you're all set. We'll go ahead and snug down the lower bolt here now. Go ahead and snug down the upper bolts. And once those bottom out, you're pretty good. You don't want to over tighten this and crack the plastic. So once they're in, just snug them a little bit. Once you're anchored in, go ahead and peel off the protective cover. You want to go ahead and hop into the vehicle, test out your lights, check the high, low beam and turn signal, make sure everything is operational before you install the bumper. Now installing, you want to line up the bumper. Be careful not to drag your bumper across your fender. Line it up around the light. At this point here, once we get around to the side, you can line up the bumper cover underneath your headlamp. And then we're just gonna tap this in, lock it into place like this here. Let's do the same for the driver's side. Now on the driver's side here, we're gonna go ahead and install our plastic push pins. Get that one lined up there. And then get the forward one here. Get that lined up. And then get our bolt lined up here, get that started. Once you have these three in here, go ahead and repeat for the passenger side. I'm going to tighten these down. And once those are bottomed out, tighten down this bolt. Once that bolt bottoms out, just give it a little bit more. And go ahead and repeat for the passenger side. Now we need to tuck in our fender liner in behind the bumper. So pull that out, tuck in the liner. Now our vehicle was damaged right here from an accident, so the retainer clip and screw will not work here. We can go ahead and install the two screws in the bottom. If your clip and everything is still in good shape, install the upper screw as well. I'm going to do this for the passenger side, and once we finish here, I'm going to go ahead and do this for the driver's side. Install our lower air dam and splash shield. You'll line that up. And get the bolts started by hand first. And before we tighten down the three bolts up front, I want to bring this up. We want to install our plastic push pins here. Now ours only had one when it came in. If you have all three, go ahead and install them. We're able to source a couple more of these plastic push pins locally. So we're going to go ahead and install those here. With these three installed, let's tighten down the three bolts on the front. Just snug. You don't want to over tighten these. Once they bottom out, you're good. On the back side of the bumper, there is a plastic post right here, and there's one on the other side of the fog light hole. Now those pins there are going to go through the holes on our fog light assemblies. So we're going to line this up, feed that up in a position. Get that up there. Now we'll go ahead and get the nuts installed. On the bottom side, we have our bolt that goes through the bumper cover and into the fog light retainer right here. I'll make sure that's going in straight. And we'll go ahead and snug that down. You just want to snug that down. Once that bottoms out, you're pretty much good. You don't have to over tighten that. And take your harness here, line that up. Snap in the harness there, and then install your little plastic retainer harness right here. You're all set.
Now we're going to get the vehicle ready to aim the headlights. Start with the tire pressure, making sure all 4 tires are set at the appropriate pressure. Remove any excessive weight that's not normally in the vehicle. Find a wall that you can drive up to where the ground is level. Measure 25 feet away from that wall and mark the ground. Drive your vehicle up to that mark. With the headlights off, look for the center dot in the headlight lens. Measure from the ground to that center dot. you can use a ruler to help you out. Transferring that measurement to the wall, making a mark with some tape. On the driver's side, measure down 4 inches, putting another piece of tape. For the passenger side, you only need to measure down 2 inches. Now turning the headlights on, it is easier to do this at night or in a dark area. Locating your headlight adjuster and using a Phillips head screwdriver, turn your adjuster one way or another to bring the headlight up or down. Once the headlight is adjusted to the tape mark on the wall, move on to the next headlight. If you're confused because the beams seem to blend together, you can always have someone stand in front of the other headlight while you make your adjustments for that one. Now your headlights are aligned and you're all set to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.